Once, in a small village nestled in the heart of a serene valley in the eastern mountains, there lived a wise old man. He was known throughout the region for his wisdom and his ability to impart profound life lessons through simple stories. The villagers often sought his counsel when they faced challenges or were in need of guidance. One gloomy day, a young villager who had been feeling despondent and lost approached the old man. His heart was heavy with sorrow, and he said to the sage, "I am overwhelmed by sadness, and I don't know how to find happiness or meaning in my life. Please, wise one, help me." The old man nodded empathetically and gestured for the young villager to sit beside him under the shade of a grand cherry blossom tree. With a warm smile, the sage began his tale. In a land far beyond these mountains, there lived a skilled potter. He was renowned for crafting the most exquisite clay pots in the entire kingdom. People from far and wide traveled to acquire his creations. Yet, despite his skill and success, the potter was plagued by constant discontentment. One day, as he was shaping a particularly delicate vase, he sighed and said to himself, "No matter how beautiful my pots become, they are still just pots. They break, they chip, they crack, and in the end, they are nothing more than dust. What is the purpose of all this effort?" His sadness deepened, and he decided to embark on a journey in search of answers. He left his workshop, sold all his possessions, and set off with nothing but a small knapsack and a heart heavy with questions. For years he roamed the world, seeking wisdom from sages, scholars, and mystics. He traveled to distant lands, scaled towering mountains, and crossed treacherous deserts. Yet he found no answers to ease his soul's restlessness. One day, while wandering through a lush forest, he encountered an old monk meditating under a massive oak tree. The potter approached the monk and asked, "Wise one, I have journeyed far and wide, seeking purpose and contentment, but I remain lost and sorrowful. Can you offer any guidance?" The old monk opened his eyes and gazed at the potter with a serene smile. "My dear friend," he said, "I sense your quest for meaning has led you far from where you started. Perhaps it is time to return home." Confused but intrigued, the potter decided to heed the monk's advice. He retraced his steps, traveling back to his village and returning to his old workshop. As he entered, he noticed a young apprentice diligently molding clay. The apprentice looked up, surprised to see his master's return. With newfound determination, the potter picked up a lump of clay and began to shape it with a deep sense of purpose. He poured his heart and soul into his work, crafting pots and vases that radiated not just physical beauty, but the passion and wisdom he had gained during his travels. Word of the potter's return and his transformed creations quickly spread, and once again, people came from all corners to admire and acquire his pots. But this time, something had changed within him. He no longer sought validation or fleeting happiness from external sources. Instead, he had discovered the true secret to contentment. The old man paused, allowing the significance of the story to sink in. The young villager listened intently, his curiosity piqued. The sage continued, "My dear friend, just like the potter, we often embark on journeys in search of happiness and purpose, only to realize that what we seek is closer to home than we think. It is not in the distant lands, the possessions, or the external validations that we find true contentment. It is within us, in the passion and purpose we infuse into our daily lives. When you are sad, remember this story. Seek meaning in the simple actions of your daily existence. Pour your heart and soul into what you do, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Happiness and purpose are not elusive treasures to be found elsewhere, but treasures to be uncovered within yourself. And just as the potter's pots became a source of joy and inspiration for others, so too can your actions, no matter how small, touch the lives of those around you. Embrace each moment, for in it lies the potential for growth, connection, and fulfillment." The young villager nodded, his eyes brimming with understanding. The weight of his sadness had lifted, replaced by a newfound sense of purpose and hope. He thanked the wise old man for the timeless lesson and left the cherry blossom tree with a heart full of gratitude and inspiration. As he walked back to his village, he realized that true happiness was not a distant destination, but a journey of self-discovery and meaningful action. And so he began his own journey, ready to embrace each moment, and in doing so, find the happiness he had been seeking all along.